there, people. All right, you realize that there is an aging process that we must try to maintain. Aging is inevitable, so we got to maintain a balance. And as a man, one thing that he must make sure that he take care of, and for his first indication of anything of that matter, is to make sure that he can have an erection. Now I'm talking about this particular subject because there's a lot of macho men out there that feel like, oh, I can eat this, I'm strong as an ox, I can do what I want to do. I eat meat, you know, that's supposed to be the man's virility, like he's supposed to feel strong because he eats meat. You're not going to be strong as a heifer. That's a female cow for that matter. You're not going to be strong as a hen or a chicken. That's a female, you know what I'm saying? Those have female hormones inside of it. So I kind of wanted to talk about the gay bomb. And I'm not trying to pick on what your beliefs are, who you love, and all those different things. I'm just simply talking about what happened 30 years ago when they dropped the gay bomb on us. Now, we've been living in this society where we accept certain delusions. And now it has a perspective on how we believe. You get what I'm saying? So I want to change the perspectives just in this natural manner, because I'm a naturalist, I'm a biochemist. I like to look at things in a more natural perspective. When people go to the clinic and get checkouts and, you know, physicals and things like that, they're checking themselves out, and you come back and you have a diagnosis based on numbers. You know, I can look at those numbers, but I'm not the person to test you and none of those things. I don't have that type of experience. All I need is a diagnosis. But I want to let people know that what I do is based on research. See, a lot of your doctors are not really up to date on what of the new research studies that are outside. Like, it's thousands of research studies and trials that are going on that they're not even reading. So you can really figure out what's wrong with somebody based on what everybody else is going through. Like, that's the way of evolution, to find out what people have experienced. How can we grow? You know what I'm saying? So we grow and grow based on what other people have went through. So that's what I like to do. I like to look up research studies, and I noticed that the doctors went to school, you know, and did all what they did 10 years ago, and never ever stayed up to studies. So they're still basing on things on what happened 15 years ago, you know. So the person they're having, what this whole conversation is about, is low testosterone. Now this man went to the doctor and got his checkout, you know, he checked him up and found out he got low testosterone. He been noticing, like, hey, I'm not really motivated like I used to be, you know. I get up in the morning, I go to work, but by the time about 2 hours later, I don't really feel like being there, you know. I'm tired. I want to take a nap, you know. And a lot of men are going through this, you know, especially if they up in their 40s and their 50s. And this is the people I'm talking to, you know, because women, they're going through menopause around about their late 40s and 50s, you know. So that's when they stop menstruating completely. And they're going to have some hormonal effects to that. But men, we're a little different now. We started ours, which I call male menopause, or what they call, the medical word is called andropause. They started theirs around 24 years old, and they gradually started creeping up. 20s, 20%, they stopped working. 40s, 40% of the testosterone is gone. 60% of your testosterone is gone when you're 60 years old. It's like, it's a gradual process. So a lot of us are starting to see that this balance that we got to keep. Like, it's inevitable now that we must keep a balance, especially these two main hormones. The dominant one for men, testosterone. The dominant one for women is estrogen. So when a whole bunch of estrogen comes into the man, it lowers down his testosterone. So this is what's going on, people. 30 years ago, they dropped the bomb on us. And we're seeing it now because a lot of homosexuals are just popping up out of nowhere. That, you know, it's like a woman being trapped inside a man's body because he's being in this environment. This environment is like a sea of estrogen. That's bad for a man because he only needs 2%, really. That 2% is made inside of the testicles for his fat distribution around his bloodstream. But it's bad because the man is consuming all of this estrogen. He doesn't even know it. He thinks that he's supposed to eat meat. He thinks that, you know, I mean, if you're going to eat meat, you know, eat it with it being organic and grass-fed. But I'm not promoting it. I'm a vegan. But I want to let him know that the chicken is female hormones. The chicken, 1956, it was smaller. It was grass-fed. It wasn't as plump and big in size like it is now. So it's been fed some type of hormone to make it blow up that big. So now in 2017, this chicken is like super big. It has breast, so that's, you know, it has to make estrogen. And some other chicken, if it's not being grass-fed, then they're eating what the chickens are eating. That's the problem, people. It's not the fact that they're being pumped up with some type of injection of growth hormones. No, that's not happening. It's what the chicken is eating every single day. The chicken is eating GMO corn, which is made from estrogen. The chicken is eating soy grains, which is made, soy isolates are basically estrogen. And when you're consuming that chicken that has consumed nothing but estrogen all its life, which is only about 2-3 weeks, because that's how long it takes for them to grow it that big. It's crazy because all of that different estrogen is inside of that chicken. Now when the man eats it, it makes his penis smaller. He gets low testosterone levels. He doesn't feel like doing anything. He's not motivated. His productivity is gone, you know?
The more phthalates pregnant women are exposed to, the increased likelihood of testicular maldescent, a small and indistinct scrotum, and smaller penis size. They conclude these changes in male infants associated with prenatal exposure to some of the same phthalate metabolites that cause similar alterations in male rodents suggest that commonly used phthalates may under-virulize humans as well. So what foods should pregnant women stay away from to avoid the phthalate-related syndrome of incomplete virilization? The urine levels of thousands of Americans all across the country were measured, along with their diets, to find out which food most significantly associated with phthalate body burden. They looked at dairy, they looked at eggs, fish, fruit, poultry, potatoes, tomatoes, vegetables in general, and red meat. Statistically, the most significant result in their analysis was poultry consumption.
This is some of our men out here. This is some of our men. I'm not saying that it's all, but I'm letting you know that if it's happening every single day, you like to eat meats every single day, you like to drink alcohol every single day, you like to take showers every day, because estrogen is inside of our water supply. It's everywhere. How it gets in our water supply is all of the feminizing hormone, all the feminizing products, that feminine products that are in our water system, flushing down the toilets and everything else. And it's hard to get estrogen out of the water supply. So we're taking in tap water. 20 to 30% of it is being absorbed in our skin. We're taking showers. We're inside of a gas chamber when we're inside of a shower already with chlorine and fluoride and all those things, and you never decide to put a dechlorinator on there. Estrogen binds to chlorine, so it's going to come out with the chlorine. You get what I'm saying? So these are things that you might not be even aware of. So it's inside the water. Where else is it? It's inside the meats, it's inside the soy, some of the foods that we're eating, processed foods that men like to just pop in the microwave. There's soy all through there. Even inside of your canned goods that people are not cooking. If you're not eating fresh, people, you have to eat fresh foods. fresh living foods. Those fruits and vegetables are living. That's all you should be eating. Some of the alkaline grains, make sure that there's no type of soy that's inside of there. These things can be avoided, people. They really can be avoided. But you have to be aware of these things. So this is why I read research studies to keep you up current. I got to keep you current. Another thing the gay bomb has done to us is create aromatase promoters. Now, aromatase is an enzyme found in our fat cells. And a lot of the fat tissues that like to come upon us, like the man that has a beer belly, that's creating more estrogen, because beer has the most estrogen inside of it. It allows the aromatase enzyme inside of fat tissues to expand. So therefore, you're becoming more estrogenic by a plant. Different strands of yeast called hops. Hops is the herb or the plant that is made of these different strands of yeast. And it's used inside of the beers, the Budweiser, Bud Light. And I even exposed on Facebook one time before, just saying that when you go to a Super Bowl event or everybody's watching the Super Bowl party, guess who's having a real party? Y'all have your chicken and beer, you know, and it's Super Bowl. You're having fun, you're having a party, and you estrogenizing all of your gonad. You're having problems with low T the next day. You don't feel like exercising. I know you don't feel like exercising. And the sad thing about it is that it's crazy, people, because I'm always researching stuff and finding out more and more information, and it gets better and better, and I love it. But the beer, it's creating the party for the parasites, you know. Parasites like dead things, we know that, and they create yeast. The beer creates the yeast for them to have a party. You think about that next time you go to a Super Bowl party and you're not eating anything that's natural, you know. Making them more feminized, because estrogen is a feminizing hormone. All right, how are we gonna stop this thing? How are we gonna really just get away from the promoters and start inhibiting these things? So one of the things you can do to inhibit it, to stop the estrogen from just metastasizing all over the body, that's what I call it, when it starts to spread, when a man starts getting man boobs, and you know, he having problem with the insulin and can't burn off fat at all because there's too much estrogen inside of his body. How to get this out of the body? There are certain herbs that work against estrogen. First, you have to stop doing all those things that you've been doing first. It takes about 24 hours for the estrogen to deplete. Now, if you continue to keep putting it in, then it's going to continue to stay in, and that's how you gain the weight. That's how you get insulin resistant, and you know, have this metabolic syndrome from not being able to metabolize the estrogen. Your liver is becoming very, very overburdened. You know, that's what handles it. So everything is being taken to the liver and being turned into a estrogen. So the man that's having balding on top of his head is a estrogen dominance. The man that's drinking beer every single day, he having estrogen dominance. I'm just trying to give you ways to recognize this epidemic that's going on. So you want to eat things like pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds have these flavonoids inside of it that allow the blocking of estrogen. Very good product if you want to start eating pumpkin seeds, and along with sesame seeds can boost up your testosterone and basically cause the aromatase enzyme to stop its conversion. So do your pumpkin seeds every single day. Do your sesame seeds every single day. Stop eating so many meats, especially those meats that are not grass-fed, not organic. Don't drink your plastic sodas and things like that that have your BPAs, your canned goods, that have your BPAs inside it. Make sure you're eating fresh. There's ways to stop it. You also want to eat your garlic because it makes things readily available. Certain nutrients like zinc that helps the prostate be able to create the more testosterone. That's how you get away from the enlargements and things like that. So eat your garlic every single day. I don't have any notes with me today, so I'm just pretty much going off the top because this is a thing, because I'm a man and I have to deal with these things, and you know, I want to talk to my brothers and let them know the what kind of afflictions that you will have based on low testosterone. Saw palmetto berries. Saw palmetto berries actually boost your testosterone because it helps the prostate. So, you know, enlargement actually happens when you have too much estrogen inside the body. So I'm giving out these little secrets, all these little secrets. You know that testosterone is for the deepening of our voice. It's for the hair on our heads and the hair on our face and everything else. So I've done tutorials on hormone balances. I just pretty much want to make this little short video to help people who are going through low testosterone levels, help them boost it up. You know, you gotta activate this pathway, this neurological pathway that says, hey man, you know, I want to get an erection but I can't. You know, my brain is not really, you know, on that level right now. I can't really make myself get an erection. So this pathway has a lot to do with your testosterone. I encourage those who are going through this to break this cycle so that your muscles will not be weak, your joints won't be weak, if you can start incorporating daily strenuous exercise every single day, like lifting heavy weights every single day, so those muscles can start pumping out the testosterone that it needs. Now, if you activate this pathway called the mesolimbic pathway, it allows the addiction to happen if you need to become addicted to exercise. Anything type of physical activity, this mesolimbic pathway inside the brain will allow you to become like a regular at this, like anything that you become addicted to. Just like you became addicted to eating ho-hos and chicken nuggets or whatever you love to eat. It activates a pleasure or reward center inside of this mesolimbic pathway. So you can become addicted to exercise if you you can burn out the estrogen inside your body. So what else so far? You know, I talked about inhibitors. I talked about promoters. What else? Pre-ejaculations coming too fast. You know, that's a part of low testosterone. Being addicted to porn is an indication that you have low testosterone, because now you're not actually attracted to the one that you love, or the one that loves you, or however you want to look at it. Those things have this mental conditioning, that same psychological pathway I was just speaking of. You become more available to it if you continue those things, and it contributes to the degradation of your testosterone. I think that's pretty much it that I needed to speak on. If you fully understand everything that's going on with this, you know, men, you got to be aware. Start picking up the products. I got a great product called the Yang Power. Yang Power definitely, it builds you up, man. It builds you up. You only need to take it for about 4 to 5 days. Take about 2-3 of them per day, and you can stop and rest for 5 days and allow that to assimilate inside of your system, and you will be stronger back to what you used to. You know, you don't want to feel like you're not a man anymore. You want to build that confidence and know that you have the strength. So take up the Yang Power. If you're going through some prostate enlargements or some difficulty with sperm count and things like that, please take the prostate formula. Prostate formula is great for that. You know, it has a lot of things that create the whole plant system out here. If it wasn't for bees, there's something in there called bee pollen. So I'll talk to you guys soon. I look forward to the next lecture and video. God blessings.